'twas the time of the preacher.
And I used to be such a nice guy.
Well, for a man that don't go healed, you run your mouth kind of reckless, don't you?
It's a little too early for being that loud. Hey, too late.
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere.
I guess I'm the only one that remains unaffiliated.
Welcome to the 4-1 Podcast, where for 4 minutes we tackle one topic. Today I want to talk to you about being creative. You see, you were created by a creator to be creative. Problem is, for a lot of us, somewhere along the lines, we became convinced that we weren't creative. And so we abandoned that creativity, and there's something missing from our lives. There's a crucial element of who we are that's kind of baked into our DNA that isn't being expressed. And if that's the case, then we're not really living life to the fullest. And if we're not living life to the fullest, then we're not as effective as God would have us be in His kingdom. So it's important that we embrace the creative elements of who we are, and we enjoy that and join in on that. You see, when I was a kid, it was fun for people to ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember being in the 2nd grade and somebody saying, hey, when you grow up, what do you want to be? And I knew what I wanted to be in the 2nd grade. I wanted to be a cartoonist, just like Charles M. Schulz. Charles M. Schulz is the creator of Peanuts. You know, Charlie Brown, Lucy, Snoopy, Woodstock, and the gang. I loved Charles M. Schulz's work, and I wanted to be just like him. In fact, over the years, I read books about him, I studied about him, and I wanted to be a cartoonist like him. I have hanging in my office the very last comic strip he ever did. This was the day of his death. My wife took that and had it framed for me, and I keep it as a reminder. But that's what I wanted to be. But then there was a problem. And there's usually a problem in what we want to be and sometimes who we actually are. The problem is I am not a very good artist. I tried to learn how to draw. I got some of those books that show you, how to make the lines and to do this and even to draw the actual cartoon characters that I really liked. The problem was I could copy the lines, but I really couldn't do it on my own. In fact, I've only ever made one cartoon character before. This is him. He's the only cartoon character I can draw. He's my original creation, and I draw him all the time. I don't know why. I don't even have a name for him. He just takes basically this form, and that's about as good as it gets with my drawing. And so my dreams of being a cartoonist probably weren't going to happen. There's that element of reality that comes in and says, all right, maybe what I want to be is not who I really am. So for me, what happened from there is I basically just assumed that I wasn't creative. That since I couldn't draw, and that was the kind of creativity I wanted to express myself in, then that meant I wasn't creative. And so I wasn't musical. I wasn't necessarily theatrical. I just assumed, there were creative people, and I wasn't one of those. It wasn't until after being in ministry for years and, writing sermons, even writing books, that I realized, wait a minute, I am creative. I'm creative with words. Words are my medium. That's what I like to use for creativity. Over the years, I've talked about this and the importance of understanding who we are and participating in that creative work. And one of the things that's happened is sometimes people come to me and they go, but I'm just not a creative person, Bill. You don't understand. And I'm like, well, what do you like to do? Well, I'm in construction. Okay, you're in construction. So what do you do? Well, I build things. Like you take raw materials and you make something out of them. And they go, yeah, but that's not creative. I'm like, yes, it is. It's extremely creative. Embrace that. Find your creative outlet and go for it. Enjoy it. And you know what? It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. You just take what you create and you trust it to God. And the master will do whatever he wants with it. And it'll make you more effective at reaching people with his love as you are truly alive and creative. Keep praying for one.